Yes, Pankaja madam, am I audible, madam? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes. Start. Yes, dear students, good afternoon and welcome to Open Elective subject presentation of Computer Science Department. And as per this academic semester, we are offering two subjects. One is software testing and another one is web programming. And today, Professor Pankaja Patil Madam and Vidyadish Pondragi sir is ready to present their perspectives and the valuable suggestions for electing the particular subjects like web programming and software testing. I think already Pankaja Patil Madam is with us, I request Pankaja Patil Madam to start presentation. Pankaja Patil Madam, it's over to you, Madam.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good afternoon to one and all. So, I just welcome all of you for the introductory section session of software testing. So, let me share the syllabus copy here. So, in this particular, is the screen is visible, sir? GRD, sir? Yes, Girish, sir?
Yes,
the screen is visible?
Visible, madam. Yes, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So here I will be discussing with what are the things we are covering as part of the theory. And next, one of our industry, that is person, resource person, Sadanand sir is speaking about the industry opportunities in software testing after this session. So here we are going to deal with what is software testing and how what is the need of the software testing and how software testing helps us to find out the errors and to check the quality assurance of the software and to find out whether the requirement specification has been met or not, right? So these are the different that is the importance of testing the software. So why do we need to test the software? We need to test the software for different reasons, right? And the reasons are already told here. So it is important to find out the bugs, the errors which are present in the software. The errors can be any category of the error. It can be the logical error, it can be the syntactical error, and so on. So here we are mainly dealing with the logical errors. Find out the logical errors and repair those errors. So software testing is very much important so as to find out the bugs, the errors which are present in the software. Second one is you need to check the quality of the software which you have developed. So many people will develop the software for different platforms and for different requirements. But if we want to float that particular piece of software in the industry, we need to measure the quality of the software. So before floating the software in the market, you need to find out whether the software which I have developed is meeting the customer requirement or not. About you need to find out whether it is useful to the end user or not, because after all, whatever you are developing, the end user is going to use it. That's why you need to find out how much it is important to develop a piece of software which you are deciding upon, and what will be the impact of this software in the industry, whether it is to be acceptable by the user or not. So you are going to find out whether the people are going to accept it or not, right? So that is a third reason of testing a software, right? So here you're going to find out the acceptability of by the end user. So end user has to accept whatever you have developed. That's why you need to do the quality assurance before releasing that particular piece of software in the market. So for that sake, software testing is very much important. It is also important just to find out whether all the requirements which have been specified in the beginning have been met or not. Assume that end user has quoted some 15 requirements and only 12 requirements have been met, right? So all the requirements have not been met here. So you will be having a matrix which measures whether all the requirements specified by the end user are met or not. So that is the fourth importance of software testing. So acceptability, measuring the quality of the software, finding the bugs and errors in the software, and whether it is uh, acceptable by the user or not. So for all this sake, we need to test a software which we have developed. So in this particular theory, you are going to study about all these related concepts about software testing. Right? So as shown here, the prerequisites for this software testing subject are: you should have an idea about database management system, then software engineering, that is the backbone for this software testing, and graph theory. So graph theory is very much important here, especially in the last unit, which will cover the DD path graph for the program. So what is DD path graph and all? We're going to study in fifth unit, and for that sake, this graph theory is very much important. So the software engineering concepts have been discussed in unit 1. So in unit 1, we are going to study about the diversity of the software engineering. So what do you mean by software engineering? Then the ethics of software engineering, then the software process models. So there are different models which you already might be knowing. The computer science students, information science students are knowing about the different models of software development. Sorry. So software development life cycle will be having different stages. So first of all, the requirement specification. So you need to discuss with the customer and define the requirements of the customer. Next one is you need to design the software. So uh, there will be a detailed design, high level design to be done for the software which you are going to build. Then third one, you are going to implement it by using a programming language which is suitable. That is the third phase of the software development. Fourth phase is whatever you have implemented, you are going to test it. That is a fourth phase. So testing is a fourth phase in the software development life cycle. Right. Next will be the maintenance, right? And if there are any requirements which are left out, again it will come back and then do all the steps. So here there are different models available which will tell you about how the process is to be carried out. So there is a waterfall model in which you need to concentrate on the requirements, then you need to do the development, you need to do the design part, implementation part, then coding part, and then testing part. And once it is done, you cannot go back and redo it. So you should be very careful in developing a piece of software because you need to consider all the requirements. It's not the iterative model. The next one is incremental development. So there are different models available for the software process which is to be carried out. So all those are defined here. So incremental development model, waterfall model, then there is a prototyping, incremental delivery, and then boom spiral model. So these are the three that is important models which we are going to discuss in unit 1. So actually for the IT students, they have studied in software engineering, but so as to understand the phase of the software testing, should understand the process of software that is development. So all these 3 to 4 models will discuss about the process of software development. So that we will be discussing in unit 1. Next in unit 2, we are going to, so from unit 2 onwards, we are having a pure syllabus related to software testing. So here we are going to study about a perspective on testing. So here the importance of software testing, the basic definitions of what is an error, what is a bug, then what is incident, and many that is definitions related to testing. Then we are going to deal with test cases, right? What is the format of writing a test case? Then what are the different test cases written for the examples which are quoted here? So there are examples written down here. That is a triangle problem, right? Commission problem. So they have taken some 2 to 3 examples to demonstrate about the testing process. So here we are going to write a test case by following is exercised with respect to the test cases written that we are going to study as part of unit 2. Next, we are going to deal with a Venn diagram, insight from a Venn diagram. So basically, Venn diagram will show the behavior of the program. So here, the behavior are 3 different behaviors: program behavior, the specification behavior, and testing behavior. So here we are dealing with how these behaviors are specified by using Venn diagram, how they are represented by using Venn diagram. So Venn diagram is it will show the diagram which shows the specification, then program and tested behavior of the program. Next, we are going to deal with identifying the test cases. For a given problem, how to identify test cases, how many test cases are written for a given problem that we need to find out, and that will not come automatically. You need to derive the equation, and based on the equation you're going to find out the number of test cases to be written for each of the problem given. So basically it's depending on the number of inputs you are providing to the algorithm. So in case of triangle program, the number of inputs are 3. That is the sides of 3 sides of a triangle, right? ABC. And given ABC, you're going to find out whether it is a equilateral triangle or isosceles or scalene. So equilateral when all the sides are equal, scalene when all the sides are different, and isosceles when 2 sides are same. So for this, how many test cases are to be written, right? That we are going to identify, and we are going to build a test case table for this triangle program. Then error and fault taxonomy. What are the different? See, already the main importance of software testing is to find out the errors and faults and bugs. So what are the different category of the errors present in the program? It may be the input error, input output error, it may be the interface error, logical error, data error, and so on. So different category of the errors you're going to study here. Then you're going to study about levels of testing. So unit testing, sorry, unit testing, integration testing, and system level testing. So these are the 3 different levels of testing. So when to carry out unit testing, when to carry out system level testing, and when to carry out the integrated testing that you are going to study here. So that will be the content of unit 2. Next, in unit 3, you're going to study about what are the different test cases written for the automatic teller machine, ATM machine, and the currency converter machine. So given currency of a particular that is country, how it will be converted to other country, and what are the different test cases written for this. A simple examples which demonstrate the usage of the test cases. So as to test system which converts the currency from that is a one country, there is currency to the other country. And here one more example is automatic teller machine. So whenever you go to the ATM, what are the different steps you are going to carry out, right? And how to write a test case for those that you are going to study out. So it's a very interesting there is a topic here to study about how the test cases are to be written for these simple programs that you're going to study in unit 3. Next, you're going to study about boundary value analysis. So most of the time, it might happen that the program, the system fails on the boundaries. So we'll concentrate on the center point of the logic, and then we'll write a coding. We'll do the coding part for that, but we'll forget to include the conditions so as to test the boundary of the program. For example, if it is a grading system, then we need to enter the marks between 0 to 100. So 0 is the minimum marks the student can obtain, or 100 is the maximum marks the student can obtain. So these are the boundary values. If you enter anything less than 0 or greater than 100, then that is the invalid input for our grading problem. So if you are calculating a student grading problem, then you need to check the boundary value in which the algorithm should that is run. So for each of the problem, there will be the boundary which is fixed. So minimum value and maximum value that you need to find out, because no algorithm works for the infinite values. It will work always for the boundary value. So you need to find out boundary for a given problem. So what is the importance of the boundary value analysis? Then how boundary value analysis is to be done for some of the examples which we have specified here: the triangle problem, commission problem. Even there is one more problem that is called as the next date problem. So given today's date, if you want to display tomorrow's date, right? What are the test cases written for each of the that is thing? So that we are going to study as part of the boundary value analysis. So in boundary value analysis, we are having the robustness testing, worst case testing, special value testing, and yeah, these are the three different testings we are going to carry out, right? What is the importance of robustness testing? So there are some valid values and invalid values. Writing the test case by using both is called as robustness testing. Normal boundary value analysis is writing only the test case with respect to valid values. So as I said, for the grade calculation, 0 to 100 is a valid value for our there is a application which we are building to display the grade obtained by a student. Right. So those are the valid values, 0 to 100. If you are writing a test case with respect to that, then that is called as normal boundary value analysis. So there we are not considering the values which are outside the boundary. But in case of robustness testing, you are considering both the valid values as well as invalid values. And then we are writing a test case with respect to the problem given. So that is called as robustness testing. So next comes worst case testing. So it covers the more test cases here. Exhaustive test case is to be carried out with respect to the problem given. So we are going to have a discussion about worst case testing in unit 3. Next comes special value testing. So the special value testing is done with respect to the experience the person is having. So it's totally depending on the skill, the experience in the software testing field the person is having, because he will be knowing at what value the system is going to fail. So he will be having the idea about that special value where the system fails. So that will come only by experience and through the skill. So a skilled person, an experienced person only can do the special value testing, right? So about these normal value testing, robustness testing, worst testing, and special value testing, we are going to study in unit 3. And we are going to study at the end the guidelines and the guidelines for the boundary value analysis. So that is the content of unit 3. Content of unit 4 is equivalence class testing. So the difference between boundary value analysis and equivalence class testing is equivalence class testing is part of the boundary value analysis. So given the grading system 0 to 100, so 0 is a minimum value for the marks obtained by a student, and 100 is a maximum value the student can obtain in the grading that is an application or problem. So there you are checking whether the end user is going to enter less than 0 or not, greater than 100 or not. So you are going to pick those values and you are going to write the test case. That is boundary value analysis. Equivalence class testing means here the values are in the boundary. You are going to enter the values within the boundary, but we have different grades: A grade, B grade, C grade, failed grade. You might be knowing S grade, S plus grade, right? If the student obtains percentage greater than 90, less than or equal to 100, it is S plus. If the student obtains the percentage greater than 80, less than or equal to 90, then less than or equal to 90, then it is S grade, and so on. So there are different grades here. So that is the equivalence class testing. So within a boundary, there are different classes, equivalence classes. Those you are going to test here, right? So the grade obtained by a student, whether it is S plus or S or A or B or failed grade. So failed grade is the grade where the student fails in any one of the subject. Then the result to be declared as a failed grade. So there you are testing if any of the subject value, the percentage is less than 40 or not, or 35 or not. If it is, then the result to be declared as failed grade. So regarding that, with respect to that, you are going to have a test case table which will tell you to how to write the test case with respect to the equivalence class testing for different classes which are available within the boundary. So that is about equivalence class testing. So equivalence class testing to be discussed by taking the triangle problem and commission problem. And at the end, we are going to study the guidelines and observations of equivalence class testing. Next comes decision-based testing. So here we are going to have a decision table which shows some of the conditions written on top of the table, and down we are having the actions. If the condition is true, what action is to be carried out? So that is a part of the decision table. So decision table basically shows what are the different conditions you are including in the program, and if that condition is true, what will happen? What action is to be performed? So that is the decision based table, right? And decision based table to be discussed in the learning topic, we are having the decision table, which is to be built for the commission problem. The last unit you are going to study about path testing and data flow testing. So here, so as to write a test case table, we should have the idea about the flow of the program. So depending on the different paths it is traversing, we can write different test cases. So regarding that, we are going to study here in this fifth unit about the path testing, which path it is going to follow. That is done by using matrix-based testing, basis path testing. Mac-based basis path testing is one of the famous. There is a method which is used here so as to find out how many paths are there in the program. Because if you find the total number of paths the program is taking, you can write easily the test cases. So that's why finding those paths is very much important, and that is done by using Mac-based basis path method. So that method you are going to study here. Then it's guideline and observations. Then you're going to study about use testing and data flow testing. So for this, you should have a bit basic knowledge about graph theory. So totally in this that is theory, you're going to study about what is the importance of software testing, why to do software testing, then what are the different methods we are following here, what are the different processes are to be carried out. So basically, there are two main methods of software testing. One is black box testing, another one is white box testing. In case of black box testing, the user, the programmer, is having only the idea about what input the program is taking and what output he is supposed to get. He doesn't know anything about the working of the code. So code is totally hidden. Only the thing is he will be knowing what input, if I give this input, what output I am supposed to get. For example, all of us we are using two-wheeler, four-wheeler. We don't know the mechanism of working of that vehicle. But if I accelerate, what is going to happen? If I put a brake, what is going to happen? Right? If I put a clutch, what is going to happen? That we know. So we are the end users. We know if we give this input, what output I am going to get. And we are writing test case only with respect to that. That is called as black box testing. We don't know the working of the code. We don't know the mechanism of that vehicle which we are using here. So that is a black box testing. White box testing is we know the input, we know the working of the program, and we know the output of the system. So whole working we know. For example, the mechanic who repairs that vehicle, he knows where the fault is in the machine, right? He can easily track out, he can easily repair that. But end user, we are the users, only we know if I give a particular input, what is the outcome of that? What is the action it is going to take? So here, with respect to if the person who is working in the industry is a software tester, then there are two there is categories. One is the person who is using the black box testing. Another one is the person who is using the white box testing. So the person who is using white box testing is completely involved in understanding the code, understanding the flow of the program. Then he knows about the input and he knows about the action. There is the output. So if anything goes wrong, directly you can go to the module and can repair the errors, right? So there are people who are working for the white box testing, and there are some people who are working for the there is a black box testing, right? So they know they are having only the idea about the input to the system and output of the system. They don't know about the flow of the program. That is not required. So when I discussed with some of the industry person, I came to know that it's a pretty cool job, and yeah, experience is required. So each and every industry will be having software development team as well as software testing team. And without testing, no software is to be floated in the market, right? So as to understand the working of the software, so as to remove the bug, so as to uh, do the quality assurance for the product which you have developed, and so as to check whether the people are going to accept it or not. You are going to that is do the software testing, and all about that you are going to study in this that is course. Yes, I have done with the introductory part, and later after web programming, the resource person Sadanand sir is going to enlighten us about the industry opportunities in software testing job. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
thank you very much, Pankaja Patil, madam, for a briefing
Thank you, sir.
about software testing and its importance in industry as well as the importance of the subject. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to invite our today's one more faculty, Vidyadish Pondarangi sir, for explain about web programming subject. Sir, it's over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll be talking about the second elective that is offered by Computer Science and Engineering Department, that is web programming. Okay, so this open elective web programming is offered by the Computer Science and Engineering Department with the code 18CS762, and I'll be handling this course for this upcoming semester. So along with me, Mr. Sadanand P has joined for this session, who is an industry expert and a co-founder for Tech Cubic Innovations Labs Private Limited. So let us look into some of the basic concepts related to the web programming, and let's have some light on this web programming course, so that you will understand what we are going to learn in this course, as well as what are its future market, and how is it beneficial for you to take it up and then work with it. So we have got a lot of information present on the internet nowadays. For everything that we do is already available in the internet, or the platforms that we are trying to use on a daily basis. So basically, uh, the word internet all got started in the 1960s, but whereas the world wide web, that is the usage of the browsers, or the connecting to the people through the internet got started in the year 1991. So it's almost been 20 years now. So we are moving ahead with a lot of newer technologies into the web programming. I mean, web designing and development, and a lot of technologies have been helping us in designing different kinds of websites, web applications, and servers and all. And the first among the web browser to be introduced was Netscape, which was introduced in the year 1994, and that is when the era of internet and World Wide Web started, and we started connecting to people across the world uh, from that point of time. So web development is obviously consisting of many parts. That is the static content that we can represent through the web documents are termed as websites, and the user interventions or user inputs provided to the web pages uh, will be termed as web applications. So basically, in the web applications, the database transactions would be there, and users would be interacting with the software, and that's the reason why we call it as application. So websites are nothing but the static web pages wherein the information is represented and it is only readable, whereas web application is all about the interaction of the users with the system and with the database, I mean the content that we are trying to store. Okay, so web development is all about programming using HTML and CSS as well as JavaScript. So HTML is a programming language that we will use to design the web pages, and CSS is again a programming uh, language through which we will try to design our web pages with more styles, and JavaScript is another programming language through which we try to provide the dynamic capabilities for our web pages that we have designed. So these are some of the basic languages that we will use to design any web page or web application. Whereas we can make use of some other programming languages, more advanced programming languages such as PHP, Perl, Node.js, AngularJS, and lot of other technologies through which we can provide more flexible websites and web applications as well as more convincing web apps and applications. Okay. So I have just listed out some of the stats, or you can say facts, related to the world of web. Okay, wherein the people would be looking for some of the factors related to websites and applications. So this stat is based on that. So almost around 48% of the people cited that the design of the website is the primary factor that is precisely determining the credibility of your business. So if your website is designed in an appropriate way, then you would get more credibility to your business. And there are around 38% of the website visitors who will stop engaging with our website if the content or the layout is not attractive. This is very important. If we can have the content and layout being attractive, then we can make the visitors to stay on the website for a longer duration of time. And approximately 47% of the people expect a website page to load within 2 seconds or even less than that. This is really a very important aspect related to web designing and development. So we expect the web pages to load within lesser duration of the time. This will catch hold more and more visitors to our websites. Okay, And about 64% of the total visitors of the website want to see the contact information about the company on its homepage. Again, just by looking at the website, if they are impressed, then directly they would like to contact and build the connection with the company. So in that case, if the contact information is available in the home page of the web page or website, then it is very much helpful, and visitors get to contact in a very much faster way. And 62% of the companies have increased their sales by designing only mobile based platforms for their websites. So this is also one of the important points that we should make a note, that websites are more oftenly accessed through mobile phones. So making the websites to be responsive, or making them accessible in the mobile device, is also again an important factor. So 62% of the companies have certainly increased their sales by having the websites that are responsive. And to quote, WordPress is one of the most popular and demanding content management systems. That its market share is around 35% of all the websites. This is one of the easiest way of designing the websites, wherein coding skills are a very you know minimal in need. Okay. So I hope these points are clear. So next, I would like to hand over the session to Mr. Sadanand, so that he can give some of the insights regarding the web designing and development, and uh, the applications of the web designing, as well as its market right now in the industry. Over to you, sir. Sir, am I audible? Sadanand, sir?
Vidyash, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Vidyash?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can. You're audible. Can continue, sir.
Can you open my screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can share your screen.
Your screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay. So, first of all, would like to thank the Department of CSC GIT College for this opportunity to give a light upon what we do presently in our industries, and the necessity and importance of web programming, and current marketing needs and recent trends in software testing, which we follow in our industries. Uh, why web development is still important? Because there are lot many companies, or small scale companies, medium scale companies, those who want to turn up their entire business into web. So it helps in maintaining ownership of the particular firm, and we can control the content with good web development. And we can create a content hub for the small scale industries or companies. And we can build a web application which will attract search traffic. That's called the search engine optimized web applications, what we say. That is also very very crucial for a web developer, web programmer, and enthusiastic learner. Okay, we can monitor, tweak, and improve, keep on improving our design with our latest trends, right? So maintaining ownership as per as this, so it's critical to protect your brand identity by owning your web address and website. So this is very very crucial for going global, right? So we can control your content with good web development. So because the old days, that content is king, still rings true to this day. And the content, if you have very good content, it will be easily searched by Google, and we can do a lot more thing with the content. Its content itself becomes the marketing, right? And so we can create a content hub. So it's not a secret that blogs are fundamental for a digital marketing strategy. So whatever the web application we build, we need to make students or whatever the web programmers who are learning, they also should look towards the digital marketing aspects, because the industry presently needs not only web developers, it also needs the SEO specialist, what we call, so that they can prepare a content, they can optimize some tags like image tag, div tag, head tag, title tag. So that is very very important, and anchor tag, hrefs. So they all should be SEO optimized, right? So in order to attract search traffic, this is what very very crucial, that is search engine optimization, right? So we can get lots of SEO tactics. You can perform on every page on a website to increase the search engine rankings to get more visitors. Designing web application or a website is not only the case, but it should not also attract the search traffic. That is very 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 important, and that's what we look at. Pay attention to this whenever we build some applications. We can monitor, tweak, and improve. That is, we always look into latest trends. That will give ability to accurately analyze website statistics which are available to you. So here we use and we adopt Google Analytics, API, and whatever clients we take up, we will be giving them the Google Analytics API. It will be included in their web application, and that will give you the statistics. So what is your statistic, or how many searches happen, which page is being recently visited, what is the bounce rate, and how many are male users, how many are female users who are visiting your web page, and how many are you know uh, totally coming from a demographic details, how many are visiting from a mobile, how many are visiting from desktop. So we keep an eye over these things, and we monitor them, and we take corresponding actions to make it correct, right? So it's website development is the way to make people aware of the services and products you are offering, to understand why your products are relevant and you are necessary for them to buy or use, and see which of your company's qualities set it apart from competitors. So in order to all we display high quality images, to get that. So we can communicate with your visitors effectively with a web application. So these are what core concepts which we tell to our developers whenever they build a web application or website for our clients. We tell them that you have to communicate with your visitors effectively via whatever application you are building. So you have to use attractive content, infographics, that should be very very and it will improve connectivity, of course. So we have very good connectivity. We can establish very good connectivity with our social brands, or the social media, through which the website wherever comes, they can easily divert it to your YouTube channel, you are diverted to your Facebook page or Instagram, whatever, right? So that we can do, and we can prove your reliability. The particular product's reliability can be proved by showing relevant infographics and testimonials and all, right? So let's come, what is the demand for web developers in the current market in the future? So this is very very important to understand, and it can be incorporated into your curriculum as well as an extra activity. So you can see the graph shows the number of websites which are getting increasing in nature. So still we have a lot many websites which will come and which will be registered daily, on daily basis. So it is yearly cumulative data which we have taken. So there is huge demand for web application developers for the coming years, and now due to pandemic situation happened, so lots of offices have been closed, and no one will ask you where is your office. They will ask you what is your website. So that is very very important point to note. Right? So to save your time and provide a concentrated piece of information about web development, so this is what we have analyzed the market demands in different fields of IT industry, and right. So these are the points, right? Recent trends which we have recently got it. So this is what progressive web app, along with HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, jQuery, the students or the industry requires the skills like progressive web app. They should have progressive web app skill. They should have accelerated mobile pages skill, and responsive website, of course, like Vidyadish is commenting about responsive website design. This is also very very important, crucial. And there is a very recent trend that is voice search optimization. So to this area, we can have the Google Voice API, that is the the speech to text API, through which we will work on, right? And we focus on API first development. This saves lots of time, and we focus on push notifications, and we build AI powered chatbots and motion UI. So these are the latest trends which students or learners should they focus on to make them industry ready with your curriculum. So progressive web app is probably the most impactful trends in web development recent years, and it pushes the world wide web forward, making website browsing experience very closer to native mobile application, right? So in a nutshell, it is nothing but a website. PWA, that is Progress Web App, is a website which functionally traditionally available to native apps, right? So examples who which companies uses progressive web app development is Alibaba uses it, Forbes uses it, Twitter uses it, and Virgin America uses it, and the Washington Post. So they use for the web app, progressive web app, right? So this is how progressive web apps actually looks like. And you can see on the left hand side Twitter, how they are using progressive web app. It is usually browsed in a browser, and it looks like a native web app, right? This is progressive web app. So in order to make your students to learn progressive web apps, so you need to follow the latest web development trends in to build PW, and here is the least popular technologies for this purpose. So you can make good usage of Angular, and we can make them good users of React and Polymer framework. This is very very crucial for progressive web app. And comes AMP, that is accelerated mobile pages. So Google takes serious steps to enhance the mobile browsing experience. So the Google itself introduced this technology, in 2015. Nowadays, it is latest trends in web technologies. Actually, what it is, this is a technology used to, it is created to encourage building websites that load instantly, very much faster, right? So if we build a web application which is not loading, even though in a smaller networks or small speed networks, then users will go no, they will not visit at all. They will see that it is still loading, then they will go to different site, right? So to make it happen, you can see accelerated mobile pages is the technology which we also focus on whenever we are building web applications, right? So it loaded about 2 seconds versus up to 22 seconds for non-AMP pages. So that is the faster statistics. And you can see an AMP landing page and regular landing page. Can you see this? The left hand side is AMP landing page, and there is regular landing page. So whenever we click, we can see how fast it loaded on the left hand side, and still on regular landing page it is still loading. This is the practical scenario which we can build very faster responsive web applications. I hope with that these points are clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So then the technologies to use to build the AMP, and this AMP is very greater for SEO because Google search, the bot which which Google search works, the bot, that bot will select the pages which loads very faster and display in the search results. So this can be the one of the crucial technology for search engine optimization. And to build accelerated mobile pages, so you should be ready to use new purpose built AMP HTML open framework. You can search this on Google and you'll get lots of information over this AMP HTML open framework. And there is a detailed documentation how to use this, how to develop AMP related session or web applications. The responsive website. So while web development trends for 2021 are being populated with few technologies rather than like PW and AMP, so we also pay equal attention to responsive web application development. And here we use material design bootstrap, bootstrap 4 framework, bootstrap 5 framework is now released, which gives a very nice innovative usage of user interface design where we can use them, right? And voice search optimization. So this is another equal in recent trend in our current year, where you can't afford to overlook. So it is already has a great impact on the web and more yet to come. So according to Gartner, okay, about 30% of all searches will be done without using a screen by 2021, right? So not to mention the number of smart speakers like which is rising in the year over the year. So we have to look for this search optimization as well, right? So so what technologies to use? So we use web speech api. As I told, we use Google API for speech to text recognition. So speech recognition allows recognizing voice context and responding to queries. So that's what we build. And API first web development. So currently this is what very hot topic, that is API first development, which we integrated into our environment for our clients, where whatever the web solutions we have to be well prepared for connectivity with other applications. So there should be easier connectivity to other parts of your application. For that we need to develop API. So if we build API, it can be easily integrated and combined with other applications. So this is, you can see, the front end team and back end team will collaboratively work up with the help of API. So there is an SDK and the client A, client B, client. So for each of these, API is being the interface which will correspondingly take these queries and work with the backend, right? So in order to build APIs, we can take, say, API blueprint technology and Swagger. It is also one of the famous Swagger.io. You can see Swagger.io. So where we build APIs very seamlessly, right? Our students and practitioners can use this as well. Push notifications. So they are powerful tool for enhancing the overall experience of marketing efforts to the company. And so push notifications are used to deliver different information to end users based upon location or based upon activity they are having on that particular website. So we use to build technologies, that is to build push enabled notifications, we use one signal, push engage, push, and push crew. So these are the four important and competitive technologies which are used for push notifications. And AI powered chatbots, of course, this is very hot topic in our recent technologies impact, where natural language processing has been extensively used. Because, say, whenever a particular person comes to a web page and they taken a number and they try to call to that number, if the other person is not responding, then you will be in a chance of missing a particular client. So we build AI powered chatbot which communicate with the user uh, very like human, and it will respond to all the queries, right? So for this we use Google Dialogflow API, Google Dialogflow for creating bots, right? So they are chatbots for getting quick answers in an emergency resolving complaint. Say it will take up very nice initiative. I think lots of users have seen chatbots. So this is the predictive usage of chatbots according to some recent research. Getting a quick answer in an emergency period, you can see 34% people like chatbot where it will respond. resolving complaint of a problem. I can see finding human customer service assistant, making a reservation, buying a basic item or whatever, right? So we use Microsoft Bot Framework, Facebook Bot Engine, and Dialogflow. So these, out of which we use Dialogflow. You can get an explore of these as well. Microsoft Bot Framework and Facebook Bot Engine. So further, if you want detailed sessions on these, we can have these sessions like building chatbots and integrating them to web applications very easily, right? At last, every product or service needs very good, engaging, attractive, uh, layout or look and feel. So we use motion UI. It is zurb.com, where we create some motion UI uh, presentation, that is GUI, which looks like this. Very, you can see how nicely it uh, gives a nice effect to the user who are using, and it is very faster to load as well, right? So this is what motion UI. And as far as comes to the trends in software testing which we are using right now, so the top priority of businesses across the globe, they know, is cost optimization. They look for cost optimization, and they see what are the chances of cost optimization as well. So we try to I tried to get some information about these from the internet, where we always run some testings for our customers, clients, applications which we build. So this is user acceptance testing, as madam was telling about these and all earlier. So it is nicely prepared, the syllabus, where these are the topics which needs to be addressed. So as soon as the product is developed, even before it is moved to a production, the product owner will check its functionality and usability by performing user acceptance testing. So if user says yes, then it will be continuous. It will be given to production unit. Otherwise, the enhancements will be made to that. So we use DevOps. The testing industries use DevOps nowadays, and it is a very well-known practice of bringing development and operation teams together. So we will be grouping development and operations team together to bring an effective DevOps culture. So software testing by using DevOps is also a hot topic nowadays. So regression testing, you can see it is also one of the testing we do in our industry, where it is software testing types that should be performed when there is a change made in the application. So after user acceptance testing, if some user says that this is not the way I needed the application or something like that, so there will be a change will be made, and it will be tested continuously. There will be a need for adding new feature like that, right? So automation testing. So today's enterprises adopting agile and DevOps processes. It becomes mandate for these practices to leverage automation testing as well. So we do conduct CD and CT, that is continuous delivery and continuous testing, as a paradigm here, and speed up the release cycles so that product will be delivered very soon, as soon as possible, right? Then we see integration testing. So it is nothing but every system component get integrated with the different application modules of your application to ensure the smooth working of entire system, right? And we perform user testing. So one of the important types of software testing, it's gaining more popularity in recent years, is user testing, right? So we do use this as well in our application development stages, so where refers to technique wherein real users take up the role of testers instead of our own team, to test the interface and functions of applications, websites, or mobile applications or services. In this, what the real users test is, they test the apps by considering various real-time use cases and give the feedback instantly, which help us to improve the application for the end users, right? Then accessibility testing. So this is one of the testing we do carry as well. In today's digital age with connected devices, we have Alexa, we have Google Home, we have Google Mini and all others. Like it's our whatever application we are building, it should be access to those. So there is a need for these mobile and web apps to be accessible to differently abled people as well, right? So there are various innovative products and applications and websites that are not made accessible to people with certain disabilities. So this is very, very crucial, right? And we do carry a performance testing as well to see the overall performance of how it loads, access the, and how it helps people and all. We do Selenium testing, so this is very important. So business, they are adopting agile and DevOps processes should leverage test automation using various test automation tools for faster release and to get quicker time to market. So Selenium is one of the most commonly used test automation tool which we use in our industry, which is a lightweight tool and developer friendly tool, and it is commonly used for automating web applications. It provides a playback tool for authoring functional tests, without the need to learn the test scripting languages. So we have Selenium IDE which does this, right? So scriptless test automation is also one of the recent research and in this testing area, where there were several changes in the world of technology recently. We all been aware of that. So the same has happened in software testing world, where test automation has evolved to facilitate rapid software releases, right, at the highest quality. So with this in advent, you can see automation has always been interesting as it reduces the mundane testing or drudgery, a lot of drudgery involved in bringing the product to the market, right? And it accelerates the testing process. So that's called scriptless test automation, right? It is introduced to handle this. So test automation enables the testers and business users to automate test cases without worrying about the coding, right? It's a very rapid prototyping kind of tool for testing purpose. And we use artificial intelligence here because nowadays AI is into every sector. So it is true for testing as well. So software testing is only one, only pre mediated way, or where an application can be observed under certain conditions, or we give certain inputs, we see whether expected output or not, right? Testing here is gradually transitioning into greater automation to ensure maximum precision and accuracy in the journey towards digital transformation. So we use artificial intelligence here. This now it's very, very important. And testing is also very true for robotic process automation. And with the advent of AI and IoT, machine learning are revolutionizing the industries, like self-driving cars and all. So we also test the robotic process automation as well. Right, so infrastructure as a code is one of the new buzz here. IAC. This is next generation infrastructure management technology, and it is extensive implementation of virtualization and cloud infrastructure, right? And we have pen testing as a service. So recent cloud testing uh, engine. So for companies, security stage, is continuously changing in a line with growing risks as well. So here we use PTAAS, involves a continuous cycle of testing and remediation. It suggests that to combat the changing security stage of the company, there must be an ongoing program of testing and management, right? So that is overall the points which I have covered about what we do in industries with respect to the web development and testing. Over to you, Vidyadish.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us about software testing, the research that is opportunity in the industry, and overall content. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Sadaman sir, for your valuable insights and your enlightening knowledge regarding the web programming and the current market need, as well as the latest trends and technologies. So I thank you for accepting the invitation and delivering this talk to our students.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the organizers of this session, that is Girish sir, as well as head of the department. So thank you one and all. We wish to see you in the course and learn the web technologies, as well as get in touch with the industry, as well as go ahead with the web development strategies. Thank you one and all.